Hi, welcome to another episode of That's the Thing, Accent Core plus R. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. This is episode point eight eight
8-7.
point 87. Tune in next week for 88.
Yeah.
Isn't that a Star Wars android?
IG-88.
Yep.
Depending on the canonicity or whatever, um, IG-88 was just a random Star Wars droid that showed up when Darth Vader was talking, or he became the core of the second Death Star. And if they didn't blow up Death Star 2, IG-88 would have been like a literal planet-killing space station,
Yep.
which I always thought was cool. You know, we were talking about personalized ads and the pros
I
and
don't
cons of
I don't
personalized
go
ads.
for them. I don't like anything having data collection on me. Also, I don't even like when YouTube recommends videos to me that should be interested in.
Yeah, that's why you turn off all those cookies.
Yeah, you
Yep.
got you cookie clicker.
Yep.
You gotta go through the options because they make it
Yep.
annoying.
Yep. And then at the bottom, they always have like the bold button that you want to click at first. That's like turn all on and accept. And it's like, no, save
No.
my preferences. Small grayed out button in the
Exactly.
corner.
I don't know. I like the U block whenever you get a click. You get to watch the numbers go up. I think that's really
Okay.
satisfying. When you're like,
like-
the numbers keep going up on the U block. I'm getting them.
I'm high score setting that right now.
Yeah. Although I feel like Twitch has figured out a way around the U block because like
It has.
like ads are showing up and I'm like, oh man, ads didn't used to show up.
They've been on my Twitch for a while, and I hate it. I'm more okay. Twitch has started to put ads that pop up on the side of the video, so you don't have to stop watching, and there'll just be, just a little pop-up ad right there. It's like, that's fine, Twitch. Do as many of those as you want. Just stop cutting the feed out so you can tell me about... God, I don't even pay attention to what are the Twitch ads right now?
I was getting Splatoon ads when I was watching some Splatoon streams.
Oh, so
I mean,
based on the stream now.
well, at least sometime. I think that was just a coincidence. But I was like, that's okay. Like that kind of targeted ad, I'm like, you know what? Fine.
That is targeted at me. That's fine.
That's fine.
I can't tell when the streamer video stopped and the ad started. It's okay.
Yeah.
I kind of want Splatoon 3, but I kind of don't.
I think you set out 2, so I feel like it's
No,
okay
I didn't sit out 2.
Why did you buy 2? 2
Because-
is just Splatoon 1 again.
Yeah, like that's the problem. That's because I was in a.
Oh, hold on. You bought 2 at launch?
Yeah,
See, that's a mistake. I bought 2 when they had the DLC.
which is apparently the correct, because the DLC was cool.
Yes, the DLC was the only thing that
Well, like,
got me
yeah, like
interested in
it's like
Splatoon 2.
Splatoon 3 looks neat. There's a lot of cool stuff in there, but I don't feel it. Like, I'm like, I don't know.
I think they have done enough between Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 3 to warrant getting it if you didn't play 2, but
Oh,
otherwise...
definitely.
Splatoon 3 is just actually Splatoon 2, and Splatoon 2 was just Splatoon 1.5.
Also, that card game they put in Splatoon 3 it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you don't buy Splatoon 3, you can't see all the memes.
That's true.
I forgot that was a feature until the Queen died.
My favorite. This is the last Splatoon 2 thing where it was just like when the 3 beta was over, everyone went back to Splatoon 2, and everyone had like a sign that said "Welcome back, cheater." I'm like, that's funny.
Is the Queen dying while you changed your
Yeah.
icon to the Megamind guy who kept
Yeah,
saying there's no Queen of England?
I've changed it to that for like 3 more days. I said I'll give it a week,
Okay.
and that's when it stops becoming funny.
I get that. Speaking of memes, that like Soviet Union Treasure Island meme template. I love it.
It's very
Is that
solid.
just, I don't know what this is. Is that the thing where everybody's marching to somewhere?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
it was like footage from like Soviet era like Treasure Island, and then they put like this song over it that now has like 11 million views or something. It's like samples, and then there's like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas samples in there because like I'm like, yeah, I recognize that's Big Smoke talking to CJ. I hear that.
Listen, that is a fine meme song, Kevin, but I need something that I can, get busy with. I need something
Honestly,
to
I
impress
think
the ladies.
I think that song would work. It has a solid beat. It has a solid rhythm. I think it's far
move
better than that other one. Than
To groove to.
I think that one yeah, this one's just like da 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 da. Like there's a solid through line. I think it would work.
I gotta try to find it, but there's a much better meme that I like in it, which is it's a Street Fighter 3 meme
Oh, okay.
involving that Treasure Island stuff. Oh, let me see if
Yeah.
I can find it.
I mean, I posted the Berserk one I saw today. I retweeted
Oh,
the Ed and Eddie and the Warhammer ones. Because I'm like, yeah.
So yeah, I didn't even know it was a meme when I saw the Ed, Ed and Eddie one. And I was just like, oh, this animation is fine. That's an okay fan animation, I guess. Kind of limited, but
Well, it's
that's
a guy.
cute.
I thought it was good. I mean, that's obviously one person. Like, well done.
And then I saw the Warhammer one, and I'm like, okay, I like this one. And then I think I've only seen the 3 in isolation, so I don't think I'd even piece together it was a meme until you said this.
Yeah. See, I saw like the first one, where it was like the actual one where they were walking, and I'm like, God, that's such a Chad strut.
I don't like talking about memes and using other memes as descriptors for the meme.
That's what we're doing. This is the world we live in, Drew.
That's how deep we're in.
It is though.
This is what we're doing.
God, you're taking me back to like Politicon and just getting mad at everyone.
Yeah, no, that's the internet now. You're just constantly mad.
Yep. It's always weird to me when especially when I was like deeper into the internet and you'd see the memes and the like internet vernacular, and then like a year later it'd be trickling out to casual internet goers. Always
I
weird.
feel that way all the time because I'm constantly like, Nikki's like showing me like, oh, look at this funny TikTok. Nikki, I saw that like a week ago. Honey, I've seen that. Look at this neat Facebook meme. Honey, I saw that a month ago. I'm sorry. I want to laugh at it, but
You know what
I've
is
seen
like
it before.
memes? And it's still
What?
still ripping it out. I would say Heathcliff.
Oh yeah.
Heathcliff is still hilarious.
Yeah.
Heathcliff is getting closer to being memes.
Like this comic from September 10th really got me.
Here we go.
Where it's just a bunch of mice worshipping an idol of Heathcliff, and the caption is, that doesn't seem right. It's just like, yeah, I like it. There's like this dryness to Heathcliff. It's like both absurdity and dryness that I'm like way into.
I also going to like going off the Nikki tangent real quick. I had the conversation with Kelsey about like, no, that's not a meme though. That's just a reaction image.
I think reaction
And
images are memes.
I'm gonna have to go with Drew on this. I don't think reaction images are memes.
I think if
They can be put into a template and like used and memeified, but a reaction image itself is not a meme.
The meme has to express an idea.
yeah,
That's the
but
whole point.
isn't that what a reaction
be-
image is? Like, Tails gets trolled picture of Tails looking distraught is like, that's both a meme and a reaction image. You just post that and it's like, oh.
So I think a meme also has is quick hand too. Like a reaction image does, but not in the same way. A reaction image is literally just presenting an emotion. Meme is a word as a picture, as opposed to a reaction image is a feeling as a picture. Like a meme is a word or a sentence or a level of deeper meaning in an image, and that can have words on it because people are lazy and they gotta ring the cowbell so people know when to laugh at their joke.
Yeah.
But I've drawn the line in the sand, and that's where it is.
See, I would only agree if you were to say that a meme requires more effort than a reaction image.
Oh, I don't think so. Part of memes can be good cause they're so low effort and crappy, and the same is true for reaction images. Like the more a JPEG reaction image is downloaded and reposted, and it gets lower and lower quality.
Oh, the higher it goes.
The higher the quality actually becomes, and the same is true for certain memes.
Well, it's like, see, by that thing, I would say reaction image. I would say if it, I don't know. I want to say a meme gets a personal spin to it, where a reaction image does not. Like if you put your stank on a reaction image, it has become a meme, because then to me a meme has to have a sense of evolution and change to it. A reaction
to me,
image is not.
It's the templatification of it. So when you have your reaction image and then someone goes through and just draws the outlines and shares that so people can turn it into whatever character they want it to be, now that has become a meme.
Well, yeah, that's what I would say. The Tails gets trolled. There's a lot of people drawing characters as Tails gets trolled, like that face. I've done it.
But to me, the original Tails picture is still a reaction image and not a meme. It's been co-opted by memes, but it itself is not a meme. I'm just thinking about Snow Crash now.
Yeah, Snow Crash. Snow Crash rules. I love Snow Crash. That's where Cyberpunk was birthed and should stay. Well, I don't know. I think Ghost in the Shell's fine.
I was gonna say, I don't think that's where Cyberpunk was birthed.
For me, it was.
That's fine, but that doesn't mean that's where it was birthed.
Yeah.
The Giver exists, Kevin.
Oh
the
man, did you read The Giver or watch The Giver? Yeah. We're gonna get
I read it. I'm not watching The Giver. That
all right, yo, let's talk about The Giver. Full spoiler cast The Giver. From Drew, who just read it, from me, who read it in 5th grade. Nolan, have you read The Giver?
No.
Have you watched the film The Giver?
But I am a fan of young adult dystopians, so...
Alright, this is old.
Let's get into it.
You can knock The Giver out in 1 day if you don't have anything to do, and 2 days if you do have things to do.
The Giver is up there with Hatchet in terms of child... I don't know. Hatchet is good, though.
Jeez. Okay.
Hatchet is the peak of children's literature. I'm gonna throw it down.
I disagree. But...
Okay, I'll say the peak of entertaining children's literature. There's
I
no
will disagree with that too.
Oh, really? Okay, what's better than Hatchet?
You go ahead.
Roald Dahl.
No.
I would say I enjoy The Outsiders.
Interesting.
Okay.
I would not, but interesting.
Then again,
is The Outsiders a Pony Boy?
Yeah. I remember enjoying it when I was in school, but I haven't read it since then. So that may change if I give it another glance. But so far in my head, it's man, that was the best reading assignment I got.
Yeah,
that's that fully.
Mentally,
there's a film version with an incredible cast lineup.
Oh yeah.
Mentally, that's why
True.
I have Hatchet.
Of course,
brain. I feel like that was the only time in school where like everyone was on board of like, yo, we got to read this book for school. We cheated. Anyway, Giver. Yo, what are your thoughts? Cause like I'm like this is like half remembered thoughts about The Giver.
So I am very pro The Giver. That book to me, I think I'm not gonna read it. It's a quadrilogy apparently.
Oh, I only read like the first one.
Huh?
Yeah, exactly. I had no idea. And to me, that is a mistake. The Giver to me has some real bad problems of if the producers to Cowboy Bebop that had listened to the fans and been like, "Oh, here's the new season. Spike got up. He's fine."
Okay, yeah. So this memory does say this is a Lois Lowry. I think.
Yes.
Well, hold on. The final book came out in 2012?
Yeah, that's bizarre. No, because you can see
That's
like
insane.
The Giver was in '93, and then they made like a sequel in 2000. Which Lois Lowry, I know you're trying to cash in on your Hot Giver franchise, but that like the ambiguity of The Giver's ending is one of the better
There's such a
parts
time
of the
gap
ending.
between like the first book to the second book, and then the second and third book are like 4 years apart. And then it's 8 years for the final book.
Oh man, I should probably read the synopsises of like The Giver quad. Because to me, like the ending of The Giver is one of the parts I really like about The Giver. Like
that you had the stones to do that.
Oh man, that is so good. Okay, so Giver is like I think I made fun of it back in the day, as you would. And there are parts of that as you would, but there are parts of like The Giver I think have aged like fine wine, like the finest wine. And basically, like my memory is like the last chunk of The Giver is so good. It's mwah mwah, chef's kiss. Anyway, since we're doing full spoiler cast of children's novel, Drew, why don't you tell us what The Giver is?
So The Giver takes place in a community where everything is highly regimented and everything is exactly the same. It's like Fahrenheit 451, but they don't have to set fires to control the people.
It's also clearly post-apocalyptic. Like this is clearly
something happened in the past, and this is like, well, we have made it through that, and we're never letting that happen again.
For nerds, for all you nerds out here, The Giver basically takes place in a Fallout vault.
Except it's like not as crappy.
It's
to
like
me,
a dome.
To me, it's like the problem with most fascist societies in literature is that the people have had it forced on them. The Giver flips that around where you get the strong understanding that no, people decided this was for the best, which also makes the like plot point where we'll get to this.
No, The Giver. There's some stuff going on in The Giver.
So everyone, as they're growing up, they're highly observed, and as they get to a certain age, when they turn 12, they're like, "This is the job you're gonna have. You're going to finish out school, and after school, you're going to go and like learn how to do this job."
And basically,
every baby that is born gets assigned one of a pool of names.
Yeah.
When you reach a certain age, you get put out to pasture. Your name comes back into the cycle to be chosen from for new babies.
Also,
parents.
You go.
Parents do not have kids. Parents apply to receive a child, because one of the jobs you can get is birth mother.
Yeah. Oh man, like when I was reading this in like when I was reading this book in like 5th grade, I didn't comprehend the horror of basically someone saying, "Yeah, you're a breeder. That's your job.
You're gonna have 3 kids, and then you're gonna do manual labor the rest of your life."
Yep.
That's your job.
That's what you do. And it's not, and you get assigned this. Keep in mind, this is like an AI or a council who's like looking down on you and saying, "That's your job."
They studied you from birth to 12 and watched you at every key crucial moment, and what they saw did not impress.
They said you're yeah, or what they looked is they looked at your genetic traits and they're like, yeah, you could do it. Yeah, we need to, but you don't have any like disorders, so you're gonna be in like the we'll get there. Man, this is gonna be Giver cast.
You get to crank them out. So anyway, our main character gets the job of the receiver.
Yep.
And so what that means is he gets to hold on to the cultural memories of all of humanity.
Yeah.
So that way other people don't have to.
Yep.
Now, you remember what Kevin said, this is post-apocalyptic. So that means there's a lot of bad memories that those people don't want in their daily life.
So similar to the hit film Equilibrium, the people do take pills to regulate like stuff. So there is like a drugged, like you take your happy pit, your society pit. You take your normal pills.
So to me, the implication was the pill literally just makes you like controls his sexual urges. It's not even doing anything else. That's societal norms or controlling
that's
the
like
rest
a big
of your
deal
behavior.
Because being the receiver means you don't have to take your pill, which means our young child thing started having like sex dreams and did not know how to handle it.
So I don't think that's true, because that's what I thought too at first, but reading his rules just says like you can take like pills, just not any related to your receiver functions. Well, so I think he's still expected to like control his sexual urges, but instead he's just like, I don't want to anymore. I've experienced too much of the joys of life through the past, so screw this.
It was also, because I remember distinctly.
I want to be horny.
When like he kept having dreams of like one of his friends, and he's like, and then we're in the bath together, and I'm like, yo, I'll bathe you, and he's like, I don't know what this is. Why am I don't get it.
I keep telling her to get in the bath, and she won't get in the bath. They're just like, oh, they're there. It's okay.
Yeah.
Take your pill.
But the Giver's an old man. Maybe he is immortal, or he's like really old. I don't remember.
No, he's just old. Because that's why they need a new receiver.
Okay, so this has been going on, and there is like a psychic transference between the Giver and the receiver. So like,
up till this point, it's been very just like, oh, this could be like 1950s America. Like this is like, and then suddenly he's putting his palm on the kid's back and pumping memories straight into him.
Yeah, like we're in an episode of Big O. I always like mentally I always thought about Big O and the Giver as like that kind of like vibe.
I can see it. And so anyway,
sweet ass mechs.
Oh, that they probably added that, and that would make the Giver way lamer. Like one of the few ways where big robots would. But anyway, we continue.
But so the kid gets a lot of good memories, and steadily he figures out what color is, because apparently it's so bad in the future people don't see color.
Like actually don't.
Yeah, like everything just grayscale.
Yeah.
And so anyway, things are going okay until he starts getting painful memories of like breaking his leg and being in war.
That is a moment I remember where a bunch of his friends were playing the war game and he could not handle it. He's like, oh no, because like they're like, haha, we're shooting each other, bang, 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 and he's like, no.
He gets a literal like PTSD moment because the memories are all like first-hand, like in-person accounts. He's a soldier laying on the battlefield dying while his friends are dying around him. And he has come from a world that knows no pain.
Oh yeah, because imagine you're in like the urban bunker, the big O dome, and I think they do describe they're in like a dome, and there's like a wasteland outside at some point.
I don't think they do. They just call it the community.
I remember. Well, okay, we'll get there on our review Giver discussion. Anyway, Drew, you have to keep going because you have far more accurate. I'm just popping in on like moments that have stuck with me from like at this point like 20 years, 20 plus years.
So anyway, like, and then things get really bad when the he says something about like, oh, what's the word they use? Like retired
Release.
or released.
Release.
Yeah,
His
he's like,
dad releases people.
yeah,
So
his dad's
that's his
a
job.
child keeper, and so like you get children who like aren't cut out, and so they have to be released before
But you know, it's just
their
released.
first year.
There's nothing
Yeah,
bad about being
They're
released.
they're just being released to another community. They're just being released. Well, things go bad when the giver is like, "Hey, we can pull up the video of your dad releasing that baby from this morning if you want." And he's like, "What? We can? Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead and pull it up."
Okay, can I
And
say what
they-
I remember the release doing? And I don't know if this is what happened.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Sure,
so
go ahead.
my memory of his dad is released is his dad, in kind of a chipper attitude, sees the baby, pulls out
Oh,
like a.
hold up. Let me say one thing. The kid is being released because they had twins.
Yeah. Yeah, and remember, and one of the things also was one of the receiver, his pal, one of his friends was going to get released because he had like a slight speech impediment. Like instead of saying
he just
snacks,
said the wrong words.
he said smacks, and so they would just hit him.
Yep. Listen, you gotta learn words are important.
Yeah,
okay. How
our
are we
society,
control
we're
your
gonna-
thoughts?
So like my mental image of release, and this might not be true, is it's like there's
Barrett be a twin.
so like his dad in like a chipper attitude, like it's nothing at all. He takes the baby into what I would describe as like a veterinarian's office with like a chute, like a laundry chute. Mentally, my brain. This is not true. Maybe it is. He gets like a wrench and then he just kills the baby and throws it away. Is that what happens?
No, he does not take a wrench to the child, Kevin.
Okay, because my brain is him just like kablamo and then shoving him in a chute. I was like, oh no.
Yeah. No, I think it's actually, honestly, I think it's even worse. Of like he has the kid laid out, and what he does is he pulls a syringe out,
Oh no.
and he's like, "Sorry, kid, this is gonna hurt, but we need a good vein, and your little baby arms and legs don't have ones." And so like he sticks it in the kid's forehead.
Oh.
Oh,
Yep.
Oh, that's way worse. I think I
Yep.
like the wrench better.
And then so he just injects it, and the kid talks about like, oh, it cries for a little bit, and like the dad's still using the same like baby talk voice.
Yeah, because the dad doesn't know he's doing anything like bad due to like
He's like,
all
"Yeah,
the
I've just been
regulation.
trained." You just do this, and then he puts it in like the little
there's like
the
a
little container
laundry
box,
chute and just shoves
and just
it out.
puts it down the chute. And that's being released.
Yeah.
And then the kid thinks about like, wait, the old people that like I was hanging out with at the retirement place, they're being released.
Oh yeah, and how they were talking about how they were gonna release like his friend for like nothing. That's death, dog.
Yep.
Also, they don't know what death is. However, the receiver do. He knows what it is.
Yep, he knows it intimately. And so that's being released. That's the giver world. Once you reach a certain age, you get released. If you're a twin, you get released. If you can't follow the rules, you get released.
So where's our final act? So like, where tell us about how how's this gonna go, Drew?
So they start making a plan of like, well, you've got a year's worth of memories, and formerly they had another client to be the giver, and she couldn't cut it. It was too much for her.
Yeah.
And so I think she tried to run away, and she only had like a couple months worth of memories, maybe just a month.
Yeah, the implication
And when
is
she left,
yeah, you go.
when she left, like the memories she had don't go away.
They get
So like they
dispersed.
started flooding back into people.
That's
They
why
started
there's
flooding back into the community.
That's why there's a giver, because like if there's not basically, if you don't store the things, they're going back out into the sanitized society. So someone has to know. I also like the implication with like the really old man giver is that finding a new giver is not working very well. Like,
It's hard.
Like there's a churn rate of children who 12-year-olds who cannot withstand the horror of war.
Yep.
Especially going from nothing to that.
Yep. And so they decide, well, you've got like a year's worth of memories. So what if we lost you, it would change society. It would just have to, because they'd have all like too many memories that they would have to deal with.
Yeah, like you can't.
And the old man is like, but I could be here and I could shape it, and like I could be a resource to like guide them back to what mankind is supposed to be. And so that to me is a real ethical quandary of like, it seems to me mankind chose to live this way so as to avoid doing what they did before.
Also, Giver, that kind of sounds like you're becoming a little bit a god there. When you're going, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna be the one in charge of society's memory. You know what I'm saying?
No, because to me, the way it was presented is like they're gonna be encountering these difficult, painful memories, and like I'm just gonna be here to like help them get through that.
Okay, but like Kevin, 35-year-old Kevin would look at that with very suspect. Of like, yeah, you're gonna be the one who controls all the memories. I saw that episode of Ghost in the Shell. You're not gonna Ghost in the Shell me, Giver.
But anyway, so they make the plan of like, okay, we're gonna spend the next few weeks loading you up with memories to help you survive in the outside world because you're gonna run away, and then you're gonna have to make it to like an outside community somewhere in there, which there has to be one far enough away where they can't get you back. But then the problem happens of the dad has to release like the baby their family has been watching
other baby.
because it's a problem baby.
Yeah, like it had like a slight genetic defect or something, and that.
No, it's not even that. It just cries a lot at night.
Oh, is that the reason? I thought it had like a bum arm or something.
No, it's literally just it's fussy at night, and it's not just quiet and calm and content all the time. So they thought it had made progress because every night the kid had been pumping like nice, happy memories into it, so it would just sleep peacefully. But then one night when he didn't come home, it was just super fussy and crappy like it normally is. And they're like, well, it had been so good, but oh well, it just has to get released.
And that's like the timetable has been advanced.
Yep. So then he just runs away that night with the kid to save its life. And that's where things get rough. That's where things get real bad.
So basically, he's taking the baby and he's leaving the dome. I always thought of it as a dome.
Yep. And he's leaving the community. He's going into the world of pain.
And like it's ambiguous of like, did he even make it?
Yeah, so like the last thing that happens is like as he's wading through snow, which they don't have in the community, as he's climbing uphill, which they don't have in the community, he's just like, oh, it'd be so easy just to fall over and just not get back up in the snow. Be so easy, but it's like, well, I gotta keep going for this baby. And then magically at the top of the hill, he's like, I remember this sled. I can just get on this sled and just ride down the hill to the community. I've made it. And that's where the book ends.
Yep.
And it's like, wait, why was there a sled randomly in the wilderness? How did it perfectly align with his memory?
Well, you see, that gets explained in book 2.
Well, that's the problem.
Yep. Probably.
That is the extreme problem of like the whole book's point is like the ambiguous ending. That's like one of the things I remembered is like I'm pretty sure he and the baby die.
Yeah, like I stand, like that's where I am. But if someone wants to argue the other way, I will be like, "Well, you're wrong, but okay."
But yeah, like I was like I remember in like when I was reading
But
it.
now Lois Lowry has said I'm wrong, and that's not okay.
Yeah, that's not okay, Lois Lowry. I still think Number of the Stars is your best book. I remember
That one's about the Holocaust.
Yes, it was. I like that book a lot. I was like, that got me back in a child. That was like in my childhood days. I remember that book like made me feel emotions, and I was like, oh man, that's never happened. I think yeah, that was the book that made me feel sad. And I remember like vividly that had never happened because before it was always like Goosebumps books and whatever. We're like, yeah, I'm not emotionally attached to a Goosebump book. My memory of Goosebumps was always vague, like I used to be afraid of the covers, and then I read one, and I was like, "Oh, these aren't scary," and then I was kind of disappointed. I read a bunch of them though. Yeah, so now I'm gonna have to read the Wikipedia summaries of these like Giver sequels because I'm peeved. I'm peeved that book had 3 sequels. I'm like, no. No, that's not good. I prefer the Hatchet dual timelines of what if Brian did stay the winter and what if he was rescued at the end. That's okay.
Well, then there's also Brian's Return, though.
Yeah. Well, I think that's post saving.
Yeah. That's where they reunite.
Yeah. The convergence. Enter the Hatchet verse.
It's just, I don't know. Like the Hatchet is fine. That's I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of like kids books that I was very attached to, and I just don't have them. It's probably AR's fault.
Yeah, which we've discussed. Like for me, Number of the Stars was one. The Giver was one. Holes was one. Holes was a book I really liked, but like I didn't want to admit I liked. It was one of those where like I think all like the people are like, oh, this book's lame. I'm like, yeah, it's real lame. Yeah, this book's
totally.
this book's stupid. Haha, he's just having to dig holes. I'm like, oh man, this book's incredible. I love it. I love this book. I love how like the vague mysticism in there. It's like all my jam. He had to break the caveman had to break the curse by carrying the kid up the mountain. It was sick. I loved it. I love that shit.
I think the best I can do for this is Tales from Earthsea.
Oh,
because I remember
Ursula Le Guin. I never read that.
I remember starting to read that book and then like getting a chunk into it and realizing it's not an AR book and be like, oh well, I need to get AR points and putting it back in the library. And then going back to it once I'd gotten my quota for the semester, be like, okay, now I can finish reading this.
I remember.
And then I learned Ghibli made a movie about it, and I was like, what? What?
I remember hating A Wrinkle in Time.
Same.
Did not like Wrinkle.
And I even reread it a few years ago, and it still sucked.
I remember The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was always okay, but I never understood why people did not give more credit to the completely superior, like, Magician's Nephew or whatever, which I always thought was sick. Like, that, I was like, man, this book rules. I loved it. I loved that book. Like, of all the Narnias. I'm like, man, I like what's going on here. I think
I never read any of the Narnias.
Well, I mean, like, the first one, you get a bunch of, like, like, I think I saw, like, I've seen like 4 adaptations of that thing and read the book. It's like it was shown at when I had to go to like a Bible church camp or something because as we all know,
Checks out.
Yeah.
Narnia is just Jesus Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
But Jesus okay.
But Jesus is a lion.
Yeah,
so
he's
it's
a lion
cooler.
though. Old Aslan.
I don't know, I'm still trying to think about books I read in, like, especially elementary school that, like, stood out to me, and I don't have any. And I remember I liked reading. I don't know if that's because there wasn't anything else to do or not, but...
I remember trying to get into Harry Potter, but I found it boring, so I put it back down.
Oh, you
I
have
remember
taste.
reading the first 4 Harry Potter books out of order.
Oh man.
Because as a child, you don't care about such things.
Hell yeah. I don't know. Those books could kind of work out of order. They're just episodic.
Exactly, it's fine, and it's also like the first 4 especially.
Yeah, then it gets way worse. I remember like I loved the Redwall books. I read a ton of them. Mouse Adventures, Let's Go.
Tales of a series of unfortunate events.
Never read those. My sister did though.
I read up till like the submarine one, and then I just dropped it. So I was deep into that. But
that's the Grim Grotto.
Yeah,
that's
I can barely remember like anything beyond like the Sawmill one.
Yep. I think they're nice in that they're Phineas and Ferb as a book series.
Yeah.
Where they have the formula and then they just tweak the formula everyone.
God, I'm trying to
also it taught everyone the word penultimate, and everyone's like, oh wait, the next book's the final book?
Yes.
I thought these were gonna go forever. There's an end. And they keep making bad adaptations.
Well, that's everything.
Yep.
Making an adaptation is very hard. It's very
hard
to
get
do.
Ever right. How are they gonna get this right? That movie came out in 2013.
Oh, they made a movie of The Giver?
Yeah, you didn't know?
I did not know this.
Sorry, 2014. Yeah, here, let me post the poster in the thing so you can get disgruntled and it's all you need to know.
Oh, man.
Yeah, look at this.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Oh, that's Jeff Bridges. I thought for a second that was what's his name? The American Pierce Brosnan. Which Quaid brother is he? Dennis Quaid? Yeah, I thought that was Dennis Quaid for a second in this poster.
Oh, what are you doing?
It should be an easy knock out of the park.
Like
the whole book is right there.
But it looks like one of those young adult like novel shows.
It is.
Like I know it is but it looks like Maze Runner, The Amazing, or whatever.
Yep. Listen,
like,
we got to compete with the Hunger Games.
Yeah. I was gonna say like I have not seen the Hunger Games.
Same.
Or read that was like past my time.
Same. I was out of AR at that point. I didn't. I feel
like The Giver is too classy to be made into that kind of film.
Yeah.
Like there is a class to that one.
Yep. This book actually is saying stuff.
Yeah, like it's not like God, I was watching some video, one of those YouTube women who talks about like stuff for like 3 hours, and she was talking about like all like the teen post-apocalyptic novels. And they're all like the same book. But then they like change it to like The Authority, or and one of them was like air is illegal. because they ran out of like things to like, because they're all like in the society, they're like the society and it regulates something, and one of them was like the society and it regulates air. So now I, as the cleaner who can breathe the tainted air, and it's like, I don't know.
Just Mad Libs.
Yeah, they're all Mad Libs, and the Giver's not Mad Libs.
No, it's not.
If you stuck around in my brain, you're not Mad Libs. I also, one book that got better with age in my brain, at least conceptually, was Ethan Frome. How I did not like Ethan Frome when I read Ethan Frome in school, but thinking back on it as like a middle-aged man, I'm like, nah, I get it.
What the heck is Ethan Frome?
So
Yeah, I
Ethan-
don't know what you're talking about.
Ethan Frome was like this book, and I'm gonna, this is butchering it because like I'm half remembering it. I'm not looking at the Wikipedia for entertainment purposes. And like my memory is Ethan Frome was like a turn of the century, like that time between, I would say between Civil War and Revolutionary War. You know that time? Like America's there, but you're like afterward, you know, that it's like there's still horse and carriages and stuff. You know that time?
I'm reading the synopsis. I'm not liking where it's going.
This Wikipedia synopsis is way too long. That is not what a synopsis is
Okay,
supposed
so like
to be.
here's the brief synopsis. Yo, Ethan Frome kind of sucks and has a bad marriage, and then he's like, "Yo, this lady I'm hanging out with, yo, she's pretty cool. Maybe I should cheat on like my sickly wife with her." And then he kind of starts doing it. He starts cheating on his wife, but then she has like a sled accident, and then she becomes the sickly wife. And
That's his wife's cousin.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And then Ethan Frome's like, well, I Silent Hill 2'd myself. And I was like,
What's a doodle?
oh, you. But I remember hating that book, and I only kind of like it. I think it's better told, the story is better told in the video game Silent Hill 2, about your trouble with your sickly wife and being tempted by another. That is my memory of Ethan Frome.
I like the Resident Evil novels.
This was like an 8th grade book. So this was like a high school book. This is not like, this was not in the same level of The Giver. That was like in 5th grade. So anyway, you guys want to talk about not childhood books? Can I talk about Perry Mason for a second?
You have, sure, but you just said don't talk about childhood books.
Perry Mason's not a childhood book. Perry Mason is like an old TV show about Perry Mason, who is like, this is 1950s. He's like a defense attorney, and he's also investigating stuff. And I'm like way into it because it's one of those where like my video game poison brain, I'm like, oh man, this is like LA Noir. Because it's about like a detective in like 1940 to 50s Hollywood dealing with troubles. And I'm like, yeah, I love it.
So let me say 2 things about Perry Mason real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
The first one being a fun fact, when they recut Godzilla, the original, and brought over here, the actor who plays Perry Mason is the guy who became the new main character of Godzilla.
Yeah, he's like the American guy so the Americans can look at it and go, oh, that's an American.
Yeah, and 2, I've only just now in my brain remembered what Perry Mason was. Like when you posted in Discord earlier this week, I've been thinking since then it was Matlock, and I was like, why does he care about Matlock?
No!
That just sucks.
No, Perry Mason, so he's like investigating. He's like pulling pranks on the cops to get his like client out of trouble, because the LAPD is just like, nah, we're just gonna arrest this woman. It's easier. And Perry Mason's like, no, you're not.
Yeah, that's Matlock.
I don't know, but I like Perry Mason.
You need to watch Columbo. If you haven't, you need to watch Columbo.
I know I do. It's one of my shames.
It's on Tubi.
Like Columbo is one of my shames. Peter Falk just like tell him like, and one more thing, rich man, how did you know? They did the meme where it was like Gamer Columbo. And
I love that.
It seems that it was a DualShock 2, but you know that because you're a gamer.
You.
But yeah, I like detective shows. Like I feel I like that was one of the reasons why like I realized I'm a mark for like detective shows in like that era of like police procedural, but like in like the 50s. Like Law and Order
Good
does
news, Kevin. Criminal Minds has been renewed for a new series.
Yeah,
it's
but,
coming
like,
back.
But I was thinking about like the modern day is not enough abstraction for me to like be interested in it. Whereas like the black and white 1950s angle, or I'm like, oh man, this is interesting. This is like,
Yep.
there's like another angle to this. Like I don't care about like modern mysteries. Get that out of here. Unless you're Psych, unless you're having a hilarious romp and trying to be fake being a psychic detective, then it's okay. Then it's good. Then we got some quality TV.
You should watch Double Indemnity too.
But yeah, that's just what I wanted to talk about. Like another old show I watched, and I'm like, yeah.
The new show, I assume you and your dad are watching together.
Yep. Because of NFL Red Zone, we're not watching movies on Saturday. So instead we're watching like a Perry Mason on Saturday because it's like about an hour. And because usually we watch like the movies are too long, so we finish them up on Sunday. But NFL Red Zone's on Sunday now, so we gotta watch.
So you need something shorter.
Yeah. Yo, I think Cincinnati Bengals has some problems. They have some turnover problems. Also,
I saw that game went into overtime.
dude, that game went into overtime, and it was like a comedy of errors. There's like missed kicks, and it was like
Oh, man.
Cincinnati. So the Cincinnati Bengals had like 5 turnovers, and it went to overtime, which is like if you consider a turnover to be about 3 points getting spotted, like Pittsburgh had 15 points and could only tie, which is bad. Like any decent NFL team, if you turn the ball over like 5 times, you've lost horribly.
Yeah.
Like it is over. So yeah, they got some turnover issues.
I didn't know it was that bad. I was like at work and there were people watching it, and I looked at it every so often when I was like going back and forth. I'm like, oh cool, oh, Pittsburgh. I hope they do good.
Yeah, or I mean, Pittsburgh did win.
I didn't know they fucking just the Bengals were just fucking up so bad.
Oh, they were. It was concerning.
Holy shit!
It was like it's very concerning on both of them because like Pittsburgh ideally should have won handily if you get like 5 turnovers. One of them was technically like a strip sack, so you know I don't blame Joe Burrow for that one. Like a guy running out, and then like hit you so that the football comes out. I don't blame you. That is, but like the 4 interceptions, that's a problem. Anyway, are we gonna talk about some nerd crap?
No, I figured this was like your and Nolan's chance to talk since we talked so much about The Giver.
Okay.
Oh, that's fine.
No, I'm just trying to let everyone have a chance.
Go ahead, Nolan.
Which is
Oh, you're kind of coming in and out a little bit. I'm sorry.
hold on a sec.
That's okay.
I also wish I had more to talk about, but I've done like
that's okay, man.
next to nothing besides watch more Riverdale, play Monster Hunter, and play XCOM 2.
Yeah, these
Again.
are good. I still need
Yeah.
to like play more Monster. Like I've been trying to like after unsubbing from Final Fantasy like 14, I'm trying to work on some of my backlog. Like apparently I had only played like 3 hours of Enter the Gungeon, and I'm like I should probably at least beat that game once. And like roguelike fashion, so that's been my current like evening chipping away at it.
You know, actually, there's something new I've been playing. Because it's free, I got Gone Home.
Oh, I like that game. That game's fine.
Like, the game is
A lot-
okay.
A lot of people like Kevin, just hated on it because it was about like a woman and
Yeah,
LGBT
that's
relationships.
That's me. Oh, that's
Honestly, that's not the worst part.
No, I don't hate it because of that. Listen, that's Drew is being sarcastic. Please. I think that game's
If I'm
fine.
gonna be real honest with that game, I kind of like just turn the volume down and play something else in the background, and I don't care what they're saying to each other. Because it's the most
I thought
nothing
it would have
ever.
been cool if it was like a
Wait.
horror.
Wait, what game are you talking about? The one with like the abandoned house and like you're fighting about where your sister left?
Yeah,
Oh wait,
that's Gone Home.
damn it! Days Gone. Damn it!
Oh,
That's on me. Fuck.
okay, because I was like, okay. Oh yeah,
What did I say? Shit.
Oh yeah, that's the one about the biker gang. Apparently, that's being turned into a movie.
It shouldn't be. It's not.
I can
it's not
see
worth
why. It's just the Walking Dead TV show. It's just
so
a guy on a
boring.
motorcycle and there's zombies. Like, that's just what it's gonna
I've
be.
never thought like killing zombies would be so boring and so unfun.
Don't you
in my
mean the
entire life.
freakers?
Oh yeah, yeah. Killing freakers would be so boring in like my entire life. And then I get into the bear boss fight, and I'm like, this sucks. Why am I playing this?
I don't like that zombie media's problem where like because the way to deal with a zombie is so entrenched that every story has to name them. They can't like in our world zombies have never been a thing. No
They're
one knows
walkers.
to shoot the head. No one understands it. They don't get it.
Because we win automatically, because we know now.
Yep.
Well,
And unless you put like a twist on it, where it's like, oh, these zombies are like this, or like headshots don't work on them, or like shit like that. And then it's like, oh, okay, it's a little more interesting.
like Last
but-
of Us, which I always liked. It was just like a fungus spore. It just
Yeah.
makes you a weird mushroom monster.
Or it's like, if you breathe it in, you're done.
Yeah.
Dog. It's over. That's why we can't stop it. Not just like, it's a bite, I'm bitten, I want to turn into Monster Man now.
Becoming the Great Monster Mash. Becoming the
This
Great Monster
sucks.
Mash.
Whatever happened to my Transylvanian twist?
But yeah, that game, I don't know, the story's stupid, the gameplay's awful, but it's free, so I'm like, I might as well play it.
Yeah, well, it's
It's a time sink.
You know what else is free, Nolan? Grand
What?
Blue Fantasy Versus.
Oh yeah, another game I have downloaded and am not playing.
I played one session of it and I was like, oh, this is like
It's
an
not
anime
good.
fighter, except I can't run, and I hate fighting games where I can't run. I don't need to play this anymore.
I
No,
didn't
just go
like-
play DNF.
I just don't
the
like
better version
Yeah, I
of
think Dungeon Fighter, whatever. I think those characters look cooler, and also
Yep, I
apparently
agree.
has that Marvel stank to it. So if I had to pick one, I'm gonna pick the one with the Marvel stank of combos that are one button. Until one button or like the hammer man just hits you in the corner forever, and then you die, and then you go, man, that guy must be top tier, and like, nah, he's like the bottom. And then you watch like
Yeah.
Swift Master combo who has like summon
He got
swords.
nerfed.
And you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
he's not
goodness.
he got nerfed. But the one thing is like I would probably play or try Grand Blue versus more, except the character who is basically just bones of creation, you have to beat RPG mode to unlock, and I'm like, I don't want to
Oh,
do
no.
this. And I'm
And
not pumping money into this. I don't care about this game enough.
Yeah.
I even looked at like top player tier list, and I was like, okay, good. Some of these are in the base roster. I don't have to make the mistake of picking someone and then be like, oh, I'm having fun. Oh, this character sucks. Or not even this character sucks, but oh man, the other characters, if they get a stray hit, do so much more with it than what my character does. This sucks.
Man, I'm
oh, don't worry, I'll have more talk about next week
Oh, that's
after
fine.
the Nintendo Direct
oh yeah,
that is now delayed in the UK because
of the Queen.
hey, you people in the UK, we understand. only for Irish Nintendo to be like, "Yo, dog, we're
We're
just going to
streaming it
Yeah,
twice.
seriously,
You fucking killed me. Oh man,
Love it.
I fucking love that.
Anyway, I gotta go. So thanks.
Yep.
Thanks for
I think-
chatting.
Later days.
Thanks for doing Giver Talk. It's still a pretty good book.
Yep.
Bye.
See you
Bye.
next week.